guys, welcome to the channel. Sonny here, and the new global app just dropped, and this one is a huge one. My prediction once again comes true. Debo rings before Heidelball, they're in today, and also there's a huge important notice about the hit reduction. Finally they're addressing it, so we got some update on that too. Some noteboard changes and a lot of other small things here. Let's get into it. Quick note about Global App, today is Friday. On Wednesday, this stuff should be out in Korea, and then normally we get it the following week, which means the Debo Rocket Rings should be in the live version 12 days from now. That would be on the 8th. On the 8th, June the 8th, we should be able to acquire Debo Rocket Rings in NAU, Sierra, Mina, all the servers around the world. Oh wait, I don't know how to do. Wait, it's May. Wait, hold up, I'm stupid. We can cut it out, we can cut this out. This will be live, most likely the 15th of May. Easy one take, we don't make mistakes here on the channel. Also, don't forget, we're covering this stuff live every Friday at twitch.tv/mySeptimusPrime. Come and hang out and check it live. No cuts, no, that's gonna be cuts. Surely. Let's go. This is my number one thing that I'm looking forward to, way more than Debo Rocket Rings. It's the hit reduction. So what is the hit reduction? The hit reduction is the amount of hits your ability has. Let's say you have an ability, it does first attack 4 hits, second attack 6 hits. The game has to process all of those hits, math it out, roll, are they gonna miss, are they not gonna miss, on every single application, on every target you hit. So suddenly an ability with 10 hits does 100 rolls if you're hitting 10 people. So now the game has to process 100 rolls for just your one ability, and then imagine a group fight and everyone else is doing this. So it actually puts a lot of stress on the optimization and performance of the game. On top of that, there's issues with multi-hit abilities, something called hit stutter, which basically speeds up abilities, and PA has addressed it, they cannot fix it. And if you have more hits, it can speed up animations, make them end sooner. Sometimes it's literally impossible to do a flow on an ability being sped up because the flow activates on a specific timing on the ability, and the ability ends before that trigger point happens. So there's a lot of issues with this that will be improved. Not fixed, but improved with this change here. It's probably the biggest performance optimization in BDO history, especially for PvP. So let's see what they're saying about this and when we can expect this. Many people have been waiting for the adjustments of the number of hits for all classes introduced in the previous Black Desert development commentary. And today we'd like to summarize and share the progress of this work and future direction. First of all, the number of hits for all classes has been initially adjusted. Great, so that's a huge step of the way. As the goal is to allow you to enjoy the game in a more comfortable environment, the number of hits have been reduced by more than 60 to 70% for each character. So an ability that would have 10 hits is now gonna have between 3 and 4 hits most likely. So the entire processing load is really reduced here. Cool. And at the most by more than 80%. I'm so excited to see how this plays out. Some adjustments need to be made, for example, on life steal abilities. Mainly this affects elixir usage with HP on hit elixirs. They work different than abilities do. Elixirs give you the 3 heal or the 5 heal per hit per target, where your abilities, I think there might be a few exceptions to this, like 1 or 2 maybe, it's very few, if they even exist anymore. It even says 50 HP on hit, it's per target hit, not per hit per target. It's just, say you hit 10 targets, you get 500 HP, right? So this will need some adjustment potentially, especially Shy is very affected by this with regeneration in PvE and also PvP. So, additionally, the feel of hitting was improved through additional action work. So they went in a little changed abilities because having to adjust for it. As the number of hits decreased, adjustments to accuracy and evasion were also made. Why this is important is obviously PvP. Let's say that you have 10 hits and you hit someone and you miss one hit. Let's say you have a 10% miss rate and you miss one ability. Well, you deal then 90% of your hits. But let's say you only have 2 hits. Now you either deal like full damage, half damage, or no damage. There isn't this like gradient damage dealing, which is the biggest issue with hit reduction. So it means that evasion would be way stronger. Just dodging one hit from a ability would potentially half the damage you take. So they're adjusting evasion and accuracy to make the game feel similar to how it is now in terms of expected damage. And this is something that will need adjustments over time as well. From a single point of view, it's possible to compensate for the reduced number of hits by adjusting only the skills, hit, and evasion. But if we only do this, we'll believe it'll be difficult to maintain a positive overall balance. This is because as time passes, the damage of each class will continue to increase compared to the past, buffs, nerfs, all that, and the value of evasion also continues to increase accordingly. Due to the system where the damage is unconditionally set to 0, when evasion is successful, the higher the damage and the fewer hits the skill has, the higher the value of evasion becomes. Makes sense, right? Of course, correction for hits will all be carried out together, but with the current evasion system, the large variation in damage due to evasion and the relatively high value of evasion compared to damage reduction are still unreasonable for adventurers playing the game. It may come at you in a similar way, even though it is the same opportunity in some cases, the damage may be significantly lower, etc., etc. Therefore, we believe that it's necessary to take this opportunity to resolve issues that have been fundamentally problematic in the relationship between evasion and accuracy. Yo, this might be a lot bigger than we thought. They're actually doing a lot of fundamental improvements to the game, it seems. Ultimately, no matter what setting we use, such as damage reduction or evasion, we plan to readjust them so they ultimately achieve similar efficiency in terms of performance. As mentioned earlier, the system that applied 0 damage unconditionally when evasion is successful is a situation where the value is greatly amplified as the coefficient increases. Therefore, the system is designed in a way that takes partial damage depending on the correlation of the hit at the time of evasion. I'm trying to adjust. Of course, the higher the evasion value, the lower the total damage taken is. That makes it sound like it's just gonna work like DR, but instead of being countered by AP, it's just being countered. So basically the same, but it basically works the same, but it's accuracy that gives you more damage against it at a more linear rate. That's how I'm reading this. So this actually makes it probably even more rock, paper, scissors in terms of building and countering other builds, and way more stable. This would probably be good for balance. I don't know exactly how I feel about this. I know a lot of people have been asking for this specific change over the years. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it's probably gonna be good because it's going to be like a more linear, so it's not gonna be as much, oh, you just get one tapped, oh, now you're immortal. This one shot, yeah, exactly, Jones, right? So this here could help the game be more stable in damage taken, damage given, versus being unkillable, standing up, and then just insta dying, right? This will be really interesting how this is going to then work as well with debuffing, right? Like everybody knows, oh, somebody is unkillable, shy, misty, haste, you just one-tap them. It basically goes from being insane to just irrelevant with evasion depending on the stats. There's going to be like more balance. I feel like this would be easier to balance. Interesting. In the case of damage reduction, there were many options about the time until the characters dies / kills in PvP situations too quickly. Yeah. Glass cannon, instagip, all that. The direction is to increase the overall damage reduction ability. This is also the same in that the higher the damage reduction value, the less total damage you take. However, if you accept a decrease in attack power and take a higher damage reduction, you should also consider that the opponent will also have a higher damage reduction, making it difficult to kill him easily. The detailed method will be explained more in details in the future patch. And that's sort of what is already there, but it's less prevalent. You can give up a lot of damage and still kill a glass cannon, right? Yeah. As a result, rather than saying that either damage reduction or avoidance is better, finally, we want to adjust the efficiency of the two to be similar so they can be an optional area that suits individual preference. Quick, Evasion Z, sell all your accuracy gear. Reduces the amount of damage. Reduces the amount of damage you receive through damage reduction, take lower damage by chance through evasion, or take a similar level of damage on average, so the individual choose the desired direction according to his or her preference. This is great. The most important thing here is that we get similar value gear options. So it's been one of the advantages for a long time with Evasion is having better stat value evasion options while hitting AP brackets. Now obviously nowadays with triple Debo, quarter rings and quarter builds got really nice. Debo rings are coming out right today on today's patch, which reduces the relative value of quarter rings. So if they make sure with Heidel Ball and all those new items that we will be getting, they announce a lot of new stuff is coming this summer. They need to make sure that there's going to be good gearing options and alternatives for both Evasion and DR builds, because if there's one of the specs that has just way better build pattern or option, then that's obviously going to be a stronger version because you need the alternative in the swaps and all that. So super exciting. Yeah. Okay. To change like this, make additional adjustments. Of course, there are also things that need to be done. As the hit, evasion, damage reduction are adjusted, the hit, evasion, damage reduction effects for each class skill should also be adjusted to an appropriate level within the class characteristics without being excessive. Warrior buffs. It has to be warrior buffs, right? They're saying warrior is going to get buffed because there's no way it's going to get nerfed, right? Because it's already dead. Right, guys? We are aware that the burden of adventurers may increase as these changes occur. So the adjustments are being made taking into account all settings currently in use and do not change equipment or settings out of confusion. Don't panic. PA is literally coming out and telling you guys, don't panic. Don't panic sell all your gear thinking one is going to be better, all is going to be useless, oh, it's going to be whatever. Don't panic. Why would PA say that? Maybe it's because they're trying us not to get to panic. Because panic is going to be the right choice. Guys, everyone panic. We need to panic right now. They're playing double-minded game. Yeah, we'll panic even more. Exactly, Luffy. Panic harder. Quick, panic sell all your pin demos. Oh, that's great. And you know everyone's gonna panic anyway. I love it. I love PA actually coming out and say, please don't panic. Stop panicking, guys. It's gonna be fine. Selling my Oblivion dance glove. Good, Luffy. Good. Okay. Even so, we're preparing to ensure that the efficient adjustments for damage reduction and evasion mentioned earlier works well. Many parts of the existing systems would have been difficult to set up and reach not only for adventurers who are new to PvP, but also adventurers who have enjoyed PvP for a long time. Nobody enjoys PvP. We enjoy making other people enjoy PvP less than ourselves by forcing them to PvP and lose. Listen, that's why we PvP. Nobody actually enjoys it, right? The chain system is something that we want to adjust so that it can be more intuitively understood and applied. This is good. Especially like what I'm talking about here is gearing choices. newer players coming in, like what should you build, making more intuitive what to build, when to build it, more like rock, paper, scissors. Right now it can be a bit counterintuitive, or you need to just stack AP because of PvE and all that, but then how do you deal with it in PvP? Well, you need this amount of AP and you switch this, and then offhands, and so hopefully it's going to be a bit more intuitive, but still having actual real gear options and choices being made. That would be kind of cool. There may be some inconveniences in these changes right now, but we hope you will understand this is a process to create more fun PvP and positive balance in the long term. Yes, there is no way this comes out and it's just amazing right out the gate. This will 100% require adjustments over a long period of time, and I hope they stay committed to doing it. But all of this right here sounds honestly pretty darn cool for a long-term balance and enjoyment of PvP in the game. Okay, as I'm trying to explain the system, I think the story may be a bit difficult, so I would like to summarize it as following. 1. Along with reducing the number of hits, many areas for accuracy, evasion, and DR will be readjusted. Evasion will be changed from a concept where damage amount is 0 when successful to a method where the damage decreases depending on the relationship between accuracy and evasion. So it will work like a damage reduction stat that is then evasion versus accuracy. Damage reduction ability is increased compared to before. And accordingly, the hit, evasion, accuracy, evasion, and damage reduction effects of each class are also adjusted. Why build evasion then? Great question. Well, evasion is going to be stronger if the enemy doesn't have accuracy. So that's why. It's just like now, but instead of it being a question about either by being unkillable or then getting 2-tapped because they have enough accuracies now they rip through, it's going to be a more steady. It's going to be rock, paper, scissors. If guy you're fighting has low AP, DR is stronger. If they have low accuracy, evasion is stronger. So you need to then build for what you do and what you are and who you're fighting and all that, right? Also, this is way bigger of a change. Quick, my notes on this, I guess. This is way bigger of a change than they initially were talking about. This will definitely take a while. I'm super happy we got the update now. There's been questions, when is this coming? This will probably be a while, because they're not just adjusting the numbers. They need to go in and look at gear and stats, and they're literally reworking like a base stat in the game with evasion. So this is a huge change. The good news is that they have made the initial adjustments to all the hits on all abilities. So that's a massive step in the right direction. See in 2026. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Also, PA told you not to panic. So surely we don't panic. Right. Contents for the Magnus, they improved the quest a bit, made it faster and easier. And here it is, the second Giga thing on today's patch notes. Dehkia Rings are now added to BDO GLabs. These should be out on Wednesday in Korea, and they should be out rest of the world on the 15th, 12 days from now. Now, we know the stats and everything, but I'll quickly cover them. At Pin, it's 24. At Tet, it's 21, the same as Pentonguent Rings. Same accuracy as everything at all enhancement level. The 5 set bonus is 8 AP. So all of this we already knew, that has not changed. Now, how do you get them? And this has slightly changed from what we knew originally. You get them in Erethia's Trial, which is the dungeon where you need a Witch's Token cookie in the Winter region. They're adding a new cookie, a new Witch's Token, to go into a new REWORK limbo. And in there, you will do the limbo and you'll get rewards. You go in and you'll do the limbo, the missions and everything, and you'll get chest at the end, just like now. We don't know how the new limbo will be, if there's any changes there, but there is something absolutely huge news about this. We'll read this. The Forgotten Token Oblivion item, which is an opportunity to obtain Dehkia Rings at any grind spot with a recommended AP of 310 or higher. Originally, this was announced as 720 gear score plus. That was only 3 spots in the game. They changed that now to be 310 AP spots, which means way more grind spots will now drop this token. But wait, there's more. The probability of obtaining it is low. But as long as you obtain the token of Forgotten Oblivion, you are guaranteed to obtain 2 Dehkia Rings in the Trials of Evasion. In addition, additional acquisition is possible through additional treasure chests that appear depending on the strategy stage. Of course, all Debo rings can on top of that drop up to dual level. So you will get at least 2 Debos per token, and you can get even more. They can drop additional ones. Also, there is a pity piece. Right, so we got the trial here. How you enter it, blah, blah, blah. You take the token, you go to the entrance, you can enter it. Now, so because of the change to 310 AP spots, these places are going to be dropping the token. We don't know the drop chance, it's probably extremely low. But you can grind Tongbred Ruins, Israt Highlands, Dark Seeker's Retreat, City of the Dead, Tauros Dehkia, Olin's Dehkia, Thornwood Forest Dehkia, Ash Forest Dehkia, Cyclops Dehkia, and also Quint Hill on Elvia. So those are going to be the places that are 310 plus and will qualify as dropping this. We don't know the drop rate. We don't know which one of these are going to drop it at the highest rate. There might be some of these with a slightly different drop rates. So we'll see. Korea should get this on Wednesday. We'll try and pay attention to it so we know where to maximize our time in 2 weeks from now. But there you go. Way more spots. Dark Followers bedroom. Yeah. Anyway. You can double dip on Debos, which is really insane. So this is the item that's gonna drop, this Oblivion token, and this is a guaranteed 2+ Debos. That's really crazy. So the trial begins, resets. If you overcome a total of 3 of these trials, the gate of Oblivion will appear, and you can enter the room where the legacy of trial steps, the trial sleeps. So that might be, there's different level of trials. You might be able to clear more, you get more rewards and everything like that. So pretty crazy. I'm so excited to see how this works. So here are 4 different trials. The Blessing of Oblivion grants you great power to adventurers who take the trials. The Blessing of Cold inflict additional damage to monsters, blah blah blah. We'll probably make a video dedicated to this once out in Korea, so you guys know how to do this by the time we get it. Witch's Scar. When you overcome the trials contained in the Crystal Oblivion, the Witch's Scar will appear. One of several types of Witch's Scar will appear. Depending on the results, you can obtain more legacies of Forgotten Trials. So depending on how you complete this, you can get more rewards. It's not just a guaranteed X amount of rewards. Performance is apparently playing a factor here. So you can get Debo rings in here. The Room of Forgotten Trials rest. Once all 3 trials have been overcome, the Gates of Oblivion will appear. All of the Oblivion crystals will glow golden, and you can enter into this just like the current one. So there's going to be chest. You can hit the chest and you can get stuff. Main rewards are going to be Debo rings, Brilliant Light Sword of Fire, which has a chance of acquiring strike. Purified Lightstones, and Star of Oblivion. Now, what is Star of Oblivion? Well, in addition to the Debo rings you can obtain, if you obtain 100 Stars of Oblivion, you can exchange them for a Dehkia ring through an NPC. So, it's a 10 million silver PD piece, which means that 100 of these would be just a bill? Huh. Definitely not a vendor item. 100 of these pity pieces for a Dehkia ring. So guaranteed 2, chance of getting more. and pity pieces on top. It definitely seems like the Debo rings are going to be way more obtainable or fast obtainable than I at least predicted from the get-go. So exciting for this. There's also some changes to some of the grind spots. Tongue-Red Ruins is a hunting ground where you kill hordes of monsters using the essence of Udokita. It's a buff you get by killing one of the unique mobs on every pack, and then you can kill the mobs faster. However, some classes were able to continuously hunting while maintaining the effect by attacking the monsters first within the range, where the essence was not erased. So you could range attack. Basically, you went to the pack, you hit the mob that drops it, and it would like remove the buff with a range, so you had to start over every time. If you did this from range, you were out of range from the buff removal, and you got the damage increase all the time, and you could insta hit or almost insta kill this mob to allow you to stun and kill the other mobs. So this was how people have been grinding it. Most classes could do this, but it's way easier on ranked classes. So we were able to continue hunting at an advantage over other classes. Yes. Tongue-Red Ruins is now unaffected by the Udokita Essence effects and has been changed to not remove the Essence effects. So I guess that's gone, narrowing the gap between classes. While also making hunting easier compared to before, the change through the shorter but stronger Essence effect prevents the speed from slowing down. Okay, so they are pretty much looking to remove the gimmicks of the spot. To be fair, I hated that. I prefer just a no gimmick spot. But they're going to, instead of just nerfing, they're going to just make it like you had the buff at all time. So it's just going to be way quicker and faster to grind for everyone. So it's not like you have to go out and grind now and catch up, like abuse it while it is. It's basically going to be like you were abusing it as the passive effect, it seems. HP has been reduced by 50% compared to before. Tongue-Red Guard has been unaffected by the Udokita effect. The mobs have been changed to receive the defense increase effect until it falls, increases energy. Defense removed from the fallen guard using energy. The health condition where the binger is killed while flying has been changed. Now instead of being killed at 20%, it's at 30%. The essence of Udokita effect has become 1.4 times stronger. That's the buff you get. It also then been changed from lasting from 30 seconds to 6 seconds. So it's not gonna persist to the next pack, but you get it like right away. When the frequency appears, the stamina has been reduced by 50% from before. Okay, so yeah, pretty good. City of the Dead, worst grind spot in the game, worst assigned grind spot to every existing BDO. You only go here to get the telescope. I did it, I got it, it was horrible. Easily the least enjoyable grind spot in all of BDO for me personally. The City of the Dead is hunting ground where you neutralize the strong spell recited by the messenger, and then you subdue him in the aftermatch. In order to follow allow for a faster paced battle in the hunting ground, the messenger's movement distance is as following. Has been reduced, while the group summoned the knight has been improved to move more quickly. Okay, so it's pretty much the same, but it doesn't move so fast, so you can stand still and just nuke, it seems. It's a bit better, but yeah. Quint Hill. This might be relevant because Quint Hill is going to be dropping the Debo rings now. That's new. The Fever of Aegis effect has been changed to not apply when fellow monsters are killed. Blah, 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 blah. All the elites, right? When defeating the next monster, the Heart of Aegis effect will apply the same as before. Okay, so they just nerfed the Aegis turn off and on at Quint Hill. I'm guessing it's, well, because they're going to be dropping Debo rings. So I'm curious what the drop rate will be, though. Some quest improvements here. UI chains for turning quest. You now see the reward you get as a pop-up here, so you know what you get in case you miss it. Some other quality of life changes here, and then node war changes. Since the node war was reorganized, the interest in each regions have been sending us a lot of interest and opinions. It seems the biggest feedback I've heard personally is the time limit, and then having uncapped only being 100 players. So among the comments sent today, the part about the number of participants has changed. According to the changed number of people, the number of Battlefield token heroes has also been adjusted. Hey, we will respond more flexible to the changed number of participants, taking into account the actual participation status in each region and the opinions received, expanding if expansion is necessary. So they heard us. they made changes, and they will keep listening and pay attention to how it plays out now. So this is great. Good news, PA listens. In addition, we are extremely close to removing settings by bypassing restrictions in base battles where certain items or abilities are restricted, and will inform you of any changes through the global lab. We will continue to check the various opinions you receive while participating in the revamped base wars and do our best to make it more interesting. Okay, so here's the changes. Positioning applied for participating has been changed before, after. Okay, so that people can do it. The minimum conditions have been applied and placed. The maximum number of participants per base war group has been adjusted as following. The numbers are below. So for the T1s, it's from 35 to 30 people. The T2, it's from 70 to 50. And the uncapped is from 100 to 75 players. I'm pretty sure like this is more or less exactly the numbers. I think people have been throwing around 70 for the uncapped as what they really wanted and were hoping for. Awesome. Gear score is not changed. No. The gear score is the same. There's no changes in gear score requirement as far as I can see. 550 and 685, that's the same. It's only a change in the amount of people, and then also amount of war heroes has been changed accordingly. This seems like a pretty big W. Yeah. 75 still a lot? It is, but it's half of a guild alliance. The big thing about this virtual is 75 is a lot of people. But imagine your guild can bring 50 and 60. Now you are fighting only 10, 15 more people instead of 40, 50 more people, right? I don't think that adds up in numbers, but like 40, 50 more people. So the difference between you not bringing the max amount of players and somebody else doing is smaller. Even though you might not be able to bring 75, well, if you bring 60, you're only 15 people less instead of being 35 people less? 35 people less. 40? I don't know math. You get the point, right? You get the point. So that should allow for way more interesting, fun battles, even if your guild is not able to bring the full amount. Cool. Great to see. And also a little bonus about this, which I know a lot of people have thought about and mentioned. It's not just about getting good fights. It's also about performance. 75 people per guild. Well, it's going to be a less strain on servers than if it's 100 people, right? So servers already have issues. Let's say if there's only 300 players on a node. Now, well, it might have a bit less issues. On top of the optimization chains, they should allow, on average, for better performing node wars as well at the big caps here. So this is really cool. Happy to see it. And most importantly, they promise to pay attention to caps and performance and participation going forward as well. So they might adjust them in a needed direction in the future too. Some changes to it, the way... Yeah, okay, that's just like, I can say how much money you're going to get, how much money you're going to get here, Calvin Node War, 40, 50, 60, 70, 10, 20 on Belnas, and then the different nodes, 10 to 12 billion for the guild pays on these forts, depending which one you're doing. There's a couple of fixed changes here, nothing massive. This is just a bunch of like regular items clipping, costumes being off, chains of tooltips, etc, etc. So yeah, that's it for Global Lab today, guys. Absolutely huge. This is really exciting. Yeah, Debo Rings incoming. Get grinding, boys. I'll see you all in the next one.